Cornish walking trails today. We're here at Galifa Falls. It's really beautiful here. We've come here because it has a reputation for being where the last King of Cornwall drowned. Or was it foul play? Our walk today follows the story of King Doniert, possibly the last King of Cornwall. Our walk today is taken from Classic Walks Cornwall, 60 circular routes. It's walk number 51, Siblyback, Golitha Falls and King Doniert Stone, 3.5 miles.
So for our walk today we've parked here. This is a Siblyback Reservoir car park. It's April 2022. We've paid £5 for all day.
Siblyback Reservoir is north of Liskeard. Let's take a quick look at the map. So the start is up in the car park at the reservoir near the cafe. We follow it for a little until we get to the dam. Head down a road, walk in through Galifa Falls and then pick it up again to take us to Doniert Stone and head back to the reservoir. Before we follow our walk, we're going to enjoy a little bit of lunch here. So we're going to do an extended video for our patrons, including our lunch. The standard YouTube video will pick you up again after we've eaten. So, cafe is here.
Yep.
We've parked here.
Yep. And where are we going? That way.
Follow the, well, circumference of the reservoir.
Oh, there's the dam. Okay,
There's
so
the
we're
dam.
heading past that and down to...
And I believe we're taking this one to Galifa Falls.
Brilliant. Onwards.
Let's go. So this is a man-made lake or reservoir.
Yeah, dammed in the 1960s apparently.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
And that's the dam.
Gonna be
Kind of over
past that
there.
in a minute, I think.
Yeah, that's where we're heading. It offers outdoor activities, water sports in the summer.
There's all sorts here, isn't there? So you've got lovely facilities, got the cafe, toilets, ample car parking.
Brilliant play park
These
for the
playgrounds,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah, so if you're looking for an alternative day out, it ticks all the boxes really, doesn't it?
So far so good.
It took the hook a bit too deep.
Oh my gosh, look at
Look
that.
at that. Oh,
What a beautiful. So
Is that your dinner then?
It will be.
That's a rainbow trout.
Yes, a rainbow. Yes.
Beautiful
Yeah.
colours, yeah.
See the through there, the stripe.
Oh wow.
This is why it's a rainbow. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
lovely things. They fight like Billio. They don't half go. Great fun. Yeah, my friend's just tried to fly it.
He's had a brilliant morning. He told us he caught 9 fish, one of which was a rainbow trout at nearly £4.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? I mean, we don't go fishing, so we don't really know what's involved.
No.
But, no, I mean, it's very impressive, wasn't it?
No, a lot more now. He showed us all these little different types of flies.
It is,
and-
yeah.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
thank you.
I've seen a rainbow trout before. Beautiful colour on it.
Yeah, brilliant. So we've reached the dam.
We have. I've never been here before.
No.
So when I come to a dam, obviously it's quite impressive when you go to the other side. You
Yes.
see how tall it is.
Yeah, from this
So
side.
this could be really impressive, or it could be a bit of a
Yeah.
letdown.
It won't be like the Hoover Dam, let's face it. Will it? Let's go and have a look.
People got made the Hoover Dam a tourist attraction. You know, they really cleaned up.
Oh yes. It's a bit of a tiddler really, isn't it?
Well, that's high enough. I'm not jumping off. All the wheels and everything that would have controlled the sluices, I think, for opening up the dam. I don't know if they're still in use, but can you see them in there?
Oh wow. Yeah. Ha! That's really fascinating.
It's catching.
Oh, incredible. Anyway, enough of these shenanigans. We've got a walk to do and a story to tell. So our story today is about a King of Cornwall. We had kings in Cornwall, didn't we, Andrew?
I know, it's hard to believe now, isn't it? But if you go back over 1,000 years,
yes,
there was quite a dynasty of Cornish kings, but obviously it's the Dark Ages, so not much is recorded, but we do know that the king in our story today is documented.
He is. He's called King Doniert. Now, part of his story, it really begins about 40 years before we have an accurate record of him.
Right.
In 838, the Cornish were being invaded by the English under King Ethelbert.
So that would be the Saxons, is it?
Yes. Now, the Cornish have always been a feisty lot, haven't we?
We are. Get off our land.
We're independent. We don't like being ruled by the English. So they fought back by forming an alliance with the Danish.
Ooh, Vikings.
Yes, exactly.
Did we win?
No, there was a big battle up here at Callington on Kit Hill at Hinxton Down, and we lost, unfortunately. But the English king had to acknowledge that we liked our own independence, and so they allowed the king, the lineage, to continue as chieftains of Cornwall, one of whom was King Doniert. Now his story is picked up again when we hit Golitha Falls, and that is where he is said to have drowned. Lovely walk through Galifa Falls, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? So you might recognise it's actually spelt as Galifa, but it's pronounced as Galifa Falls. And Galifa is a Cornish word. It's for obstacle.
Yeah.
And there is a story about that here. So back in the in the 1800s, this area was a mining area, and it was the Victoria mine. I think it was a copper mine.
Yeah.
And the miners would watch the salmon and the trout trying to get upriver to spawn. And where we're heading, there was a big obstacle in the way, a great big granite boulder, and it was preventing the salmon coming upriver. So these miners decided to blow it up.
Help the fish.
Help the fish out. so yeah, obstruction
in Cornish
is Galifa.
Obstructed falls.
Obstructed falls, there we go.
It's this magnificent avenue of beautiful trees. We're trying to decide what variety they are, but if you notice, the leaves aren't out. So we've resorted to looking on the ground. Now, looking at this leaf debris, I think they're beech trees, predominantly. There's still one or two oak leaves there. I want to know. I'll have to come back again when they're in full leaf so I can find out.
Warning, this video contains moss porn.
This path feels quite mystical with the high, well, each side is like a hedge, and it's all mossy and green and soft. You just imagine the little fairies, little Cornish piskies, having great fun down here, can't you? And the trees are magnificent. They make you feel so tiny, all covered in moss. They look so fluffy. Belies their strength. Fabulous! It feels great to be walking through here. And then the spell is broken with the old china clay pipe used to transport like slime or kaolin from St Neot to Moorswater and on for processing. Makes you wonder why they've kept it. It's quite fascinating. It's kind of quite a brutal juxtaposition. The wonky lines of nature and the man-made harsh steel A-frames. Starting to hear that roar, that thunder of water leaping and passing over boulders, hitting pools, making the waterfalls. There's certainly some rocks here, but it's not happening yet. wondering which slab of rock the miners blew up, but there's nothing to indicate it. I don't expect there would be, really. Lots of flat kind of slabs, like that one over there. And it would mean that the fish could get up here to their spawning ground. Don't know. Do you think that that is a water wheel thing?
There's supposed to be remains of water wheels up here from
Yeah.
when the copper mine was here.
Like the trench for it?
Can I have a look?
Yeah. He's gone to investigate with the dog. It's quite hard work getting up and down from the path to these archaeological remains. It's quite hard work, but good fun. Lovely. Some steps.
These walls, Sarah.
Yeah.
These would have housed a massive great water wheel when this was a mine in the 1800s. Victoria copper mine.
Yeah.
It was a 30-foot water wheel that was sat in here.
Oh, I wonder what they use that for. Grinding, pummeling.
They used it for being able to pump the mine dry.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was to drive the engines to keep the mine dry.
Because we haven't seen any evidence of leaks, have
No.
we? Andrew,
It's the leak, isn't it?
you think it's the leak? I was
Yeah.
just about to say the same thing. It's very straight, walls each side, and it holds a lot of water. Yeah, so that would have fed the water wheels maybe?
Must have done, isn't it?
So we've kind of got to a path that is, it's not difficult to negotiate, it's just increasingly difficult to negotiate.
I'm not quite sure if we've come to the actual point where you're not supposed to be able to go any further.
Yeah, there's a panorama kind of put on the map, isn't it? And we don't know if we've reached that or no.
So our instructions did tell us to walk down to Galifa Falls and then back again,
Yes.
which we're going to retrace our steps now. But it's beautiful. You've got basically lots of tumbling, tiny little waterfalls all the way down.
And the noise and the sound, when you get close to it, it's all you can hear. It kind of obliterates all your thoughts and the world around you. It's quite magical.
It is magical. It's a good word
Yeah,
for it, isn't it?
love
you can almost
it.
imagine little piskies and fairies and
I said exactly that.
Is it forest nymphs?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, something like that, flitting around, watching us.
They're the only ones that watch us.
Must just show you guys this. That is a tree root. It's the root ball from underneath, and the lacework where the mud has fallen away is sensational. We've explored this place to its zenith, we think, and we're now going to head towards King Doniert's stone. So we're going to leave Golitha Falls and pick up the road again. So if you've enjoyed this walk so far, why not hit that subscribe button? Give us a like or pop a comment below.
You love getting your comments? Stroking the moss. Warning, this video contains moss porn. Stroke my moss.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Are you stroking that
No.
tree?
Be
Is
weird.
it soft?
Got honest. Not putting that in a video, are you?
They look like snuggly blankets around the trunks, don't they? All that moss is so soft and tender and fluffy. You just want to bury your face in it, don't you? Not so much fun that bit. All uphill, so we stanked on. Made me puff going at such a pace. Just to get away from the traffic really. And I'm so glad we've got here. Look at this. King Doniert stone. Let's go and have a look. These two stones have caused some mystery over the years. There is some clues. So that clue up there makes them think that there was a cross that would have sat on top where that square bit is cut out, and you'd have had a Celtic cross sat on top, and it would have been taller. And over here is a Latin inscription, and there is a D, an O, an N, an I. The E is here, the I is there, and the T is kind of off here, and then the rest of the inscription in Latin down below. So the Latin inscription has been translated, and there's a couple of differing translations to what it means, but basically King Doniert asked for this stone to be put up. One thought is that he was asking people who were travelling this road if this had been a Celtic cross and that was his memorial, when they said a prayer to the Celtic cross, say one for him as well. But it was definitely for his soul's sake.
So they think that both of these stones were at some point a plinth to a taller memorial. And you can actually see on the smaller stone here, King Doniert's stone, there is some sort of recess where that would have sat. Now whether that would have been out of timber or whether that would have been granite as well, I don't know. Can you imagine them being taller? It's so impressive.
This is quite marvellous to think how old this is, and there are a number of accounts. One that we know of, written by Davies Gilbert. Now he relates his visit here in 1802, and he found the stone on the floor, and he was intrigued by this because he'd read an earlier account that dates back to like the reign of King Charles II, so you're talking the 1660s, 1670s, where some tinners decided with pickaxes and spades to come here and find treasure. They thought this was like a burial grave and they would find some treasure. So they were digging away, and so they found this vault, this vaulted room, and they described it in the account with like a confessional, a couple of benches with a confessional in it. They were so spooked, they just legged it. They put earth and turf over the top and they were gone. So the stone lay on the floor for quite a while.
So you were saying that Davies Gilbert then, when he came in 1802, the smaller of the stones, King Doniert's stone, was on its side in a pit.
Yes.
And there was like some sort of burial, or they think it was some sort of burial chamber underneath.
I think subsequent archaeological digs found not a 6-foot vaulted chamber, but a cross-shaped void.
And this obviously marks that sort of spot then. And
yes.
This stone's obviously been
put upright again,
yeah,
in its final position.
So King Doniert then, he died at Galifa Falls.
Indeed.
And there's some dispute whether he drowned there, whether it was an accident or more deliberate, a bit more sinister.
Yes. Maybe he upset a Saxon king or lord.
Well, let's not do that then. It'll be the end of our YouTube career.
No.
We might end up there next to him.
One of the things I love about this most of all, you've got this really well kept area, English heritage, fantastic. The daffodils, they look stunning. There's a big slab of granite here, and if you stand up here, you can see for miles, you can see some clear Liskeard in the valley and then straight out to sea. And up there, the pale, distant hills of Bodmin Moor. Actually, on second thoughts, I think that might be Dartmoor. It's weird to think that at the time of King Doniert, Cornwall wasn't as small as it is now. It used to be part of Devon as well. Then we'd have made them do jam first. Tractor.
Follow that tractor.
Oh, I'm really pleased we did that. It kind of puts you in touch with Cornishness and Cornish heritage, doesn't it?
You really feel rooted in history when you go to somewhere like that, 'cause it's over 1,000 years ago.
I know.
And to think, you know, there was, you know, a King of Cornwall at that point, wasn't it? And I think we should start a petition for a new King of Cornwall.
Who's going to be King of Cornwall?
Don't know, but you know, I don't know.
You didn't think that one through, did you?
No.
Oh, it makes me feel so proud that there was a King of Cornwall. Yay! Several Kings of Cornwall. Now, there is some thought that A, he wasn't the only one, and B, he wasn't the last one.
No, that's right, but I think he's the last one where there's actual proof, documentation that he was a King of Cornwall. A
real human being, as opposed to Arthur.
Yes.
That's more mythical.
Yeah, so you think of King Arthur, that's the first thing you think of, isn't it, when you think of Kings of Cornwall? And he's a mythical character, allegedly, isn't it?
That whole story isn't it?
Yes.
But Doniert was the actual real thing, flesh and blood, King of Cornwall.
Yeah, in a funny way, I feel we've paid our respects to King Doniert. I'm glad we've come to that.
Yeah, me too.
Check the instructions.
We're going over the bridge, up the hill a bit and taking a footpath.
Does it tell us to pass a majestic looking
Fordson
Major diesel tractor?
Don't you think the front of it looks like a face?
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Look at that. Do you reckon 1940s? 50s?
Particularly like the blue bottle on the exhaust pipe.
Yeah, that might not be original.
Come on then. And don't forget, there is an extended version of this walk on Patreon. It shows our lunch that we had here, so if you want to find out what we thought about it, hop over to Patreon, join us over there. Our walk today is taken from Classic Walks Cornwall, 60 circular routes. Number 51, Siblyback, Golitha Falls and King Doniert Stone, 3.5 miles. We made it back to Siblyback Lake, went to Galifa Falls, learned all about King Doniert and our Cornish heritage.
Yeah, last of the Cornish Kings, brilliant.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
The walk instructions were brilliant, the map worked, but we think it might be a little bit longer than 3.5 miles.
Yeah, we think it's closer to 5 miles, and just be aware of that really.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
So other than that, what did you score it?
I'm going to score it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Well done.